Okay. We're having a bit of service issue today. Hey, hi, how are you? Thanks for joining in. We've already started discussions, but just waiting for Owen Gee to join in and we can continue. Hey, Amalola, thank you for joining. I see you. I'm good. Hajim Latunde, I'm good. We're waiting for Owen Gee. Ogurombi, I see you. We keep trying. It was about, yes, I saw your question, Deji. I will be raising it. Thank you. Welcome back, Owen Gee. So,
sorry, I don't know what is going on with the network today.
Yes, it's the network. So we're talking about these opportunities and how to explore and exploit them. Hey, Adesire,
Exactly.
how are you doing? So over to you, Owen Gee.
Yes, that's why you found out that what a lot of these companies now do is that because a lot of the skits are trending, people just want to laugh, especially in this particular period. They try and engage a lot of these skits makers who are doing skits that are trending worldwide. Who also have a very large or very, very huge followership, and so they try and use some of these skits as mediums to advertise their product. They make these skits makers write their scripts around their products. Some of them make them do placements, in and out of those skits. Some of them even attach their logos to them. And those are ways that they've been able. One is cheaper than TV.
Yeah.
Two is faster in terms of audience engagement, because with TV, the measurement or the data is not actually accurate. You can only postulate, or you can only sit down and try and calculate the number of people that you think or that you feel would have seen that advert at that particular point in time, especially if the stations are lying to you, because some stations will tell you at this time these millions of people will watch it, or this is, we all know how it runs. Exactly, we all know how it runs. So but with this one, you can actually see the numbers there. The numbers don't lie. You can actually see the number of comments, you see the number of likes, and so on and so forth. And so these are other ways that advertisers have engaged them.
One of the things that I wanted to quickly run by, because of the inconsistency in the serving. I know that there's the aspect of generating revenue for comedians, but there's also the aspect of social service, driving social business. When an era of sexual harassment. One of the questions that one of the viewers have asked is how comedians are going to be able to use their platform and medium to express and praise for, and at least develop some form of conversation and drive awareness and advocacy for sexual harassment. How are comedians able to reverse this objectification of women? How do you think that can be done?
This is a topic that I really wanted to shy away from, that I really wanted to run away from. And it's because I think about 2 hours before I came on the show 2 hours before we had the show at about 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Via a WhatsApp group, some people tried to get my opinion or my contribution on all of the various rape cases that have been happening. And I told them, I said, look, I don't want to contribute. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to be taken out of context. And the reason why I said that is because there is so much and so little happening in the media right now. Most times when a lot of the people who get information for the media, how do they get their information is what I wanted to ask. There has to be happenings, there has to be events going on. There has to be awards, there has to be comedy shows, there have to be musical concerts, there has to be something happening in Nollywood. All of those things are grounded right now. And so the only way they get their information is online. Whatever you say, people will take it out of context, turn it around. I'll probably say something here now, they'll edit like 20 seconds of it and go and throw that on either Instant Blog or the other places, and so I wanted to shy away from it. But for us as comedians, it's a win-win thing. And I say that because some of my colleagues have had the axe come on them when they've had to do 1 or 2 jokes that had to depict women in some form. It has been hard, but there are different styles to comedy. Some of the most celebrated comedians in my industry are people who thrived when they started their career with dirty jokes.
Right.
A lot of the things that they said about women then were accepted.
Yes.
When they actually started their career. It's what placed some of them, in the limelight.
Yeah.
And so it is now that that they have now grown, they are no longer youthful, they are now married, they've seen the other side of life, that their style of deliveries have now changed.
Right.
And for some media people, they go back and dig some of those old tapes and bring them out now to say, this person said this 15 years ago, or said this 20 years ago, or it was not a form of condemnation then. In fact, they were applauded. They said that and it was acceptable and applauded. Right. They got the highest laughs then, they got the highest hailings and everything then, but they did not know that it would at some point in time catch up with them. For a lot of stand-up comedians who have performed within the last 5 to 6 years, you will see that very little of them have used jokes or have used routines, that have objectified women as sexual objects. Very, very few. And that is because the style of comedy is changing.
Yeah.
You basically have to be very intelligent these days to be able to engage an audience as a comedian.
Yeah.
Your source of materials have now changed. These are the days now where your materials have to be globally accepted. Yeah. Because we have all the HBOs, we have the Netflixes, we have the Instagrams, we have all of these platforms where you want to place these jokes, where you want people to see your acts and see you as a globally accepted brand. Yeah. And so the use of such languages have reduced tremendously over the years. Now there's also what you call misconception, miscommunication, and misinformation. There's a comedian, for example, who did a joke comparing, one of my colleagues, comparing women that if he had to have a hotel, he would name the rooms after some particular actresses because of how they looked. And this same guy had done this material over a long period of time and was accepted at so many shows. But all of a sudden, once one person comes to a show, so many thousands of them, have enjoyed in the past. So on this one, I'm standing on the part of my industry by saying that in the last few years, So many other comedians have prided themselves on saying jokes or so many other things that are less about how women look and using them as sexual objects. I think that it's a lot on the decline. The issue at point now are rape cases.
Yeah.
They are purely rape cases, and so far, no comedian has been fingered out in any of such allegations. So
I get that,
I think
and I understand the sensitivity around how you postulate or what you postulate as your content for entertainment, but at some point in time, you have to be able to address the big elephant in the room, and your approach, I think, is what matters. Okay, if you script out jokes around how a girl is toasted or how a girl is, approached, and can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you now. I didn't even get any of the question.
So,
yes.
So what I was saying is that the plan or the approach or the style of addressing the issue also matters.
Yes.
For people to understand that rape must be totally eradicated, then any opportunity given, if it is, something that is recorded and you know
Yes.
that it cannot be taken out of context, if
Yes.
you have to stereotype or plan something that drives that
Yes.
value, I think that such opportunities should be explored. What do you think?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the question. The network has been quite terrible.
Yes.
I didn't, but
you want me to go through it again?
Please do.
Okay, so what I was saying is
Thank
that
you,
I totally understand where you're coming from in terms of being, being safe. It's a very sensitive. Can you hear me? They're dealing with us today.
I know, but we just must do this. I will not agree. I think yes, so we have to keep going. I'm used to this. I don't know. I don't just understand.
What I'm saying is that can't comedians map out different ways of addressing the issue? Even if you have to provide a skit or design a skit to say, oh, a boy is toasting a girl, the girl says this. Not be say, if you say yes to come to my house does not mean that yes to go all the way. Or that sort of thing. Are there ways that these ideals can be pushed out to create a lot more understanding for people, even at the various demographic levels?
Thank you so much. You see, like I said, this is it's a hard topic to touch, but let me be as candid as possible. For a lot of the comedians now, like I said, comedy, we have different breakdowns to comedy. You know, like I said at the beginning, they are stand-up comedians, they are acting comedians, they are Instagram comedians. Now, in quote, Instagram comedians are the ones that you are basically referring to. Because for stand-up comedians, there has to be an opportunity to perform. There has to be a show for us to be able to put this in place. Instagram comedians are the ones who are currently doing this. Now, Instagram comedians also have divisions. They have divisions. And I would like you to note something after this show. I'd like you to go and already show off women in.
I can hear you.
Oh, you couldn't. Oh, you couldn't hear what I was saying before.
It's okay. Keep on. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I said I wanted you to go and check the handles of some of the trending Instagram comedians at the moment, especially the ones who have a very huge followership. And you would find out that most of them that have huge followership are the ones who have done who do skits. Most of their skits are feminine based. Most of their skits are almost sexual in context. You know, they either show women as having a big behind or, you know, a big front and so on and so forth. They are the ones that have the highest views. They are the ones that have the highest followings. And they are the ones that get the biggest laughs. So the ones that are doing skits that don't have a lot of these things are not getting that much of interest from the type of skits that they do.
So you're saying that it's best designed after skits? Is that what you're saying?
You said what?
Are you saying that these ideals, this topic, is best designed after skits?
It's best designed after skits. Now the comedians, that's what I'm telling you. The comedians who are already doing skits in this fashion are the ones that have the largest followings. They are the ones that get the biggest applause. They are the ones that get the most views, that get the highest number of comments. The ones who are using the women that, you know, are dressed in some format, you know, have some particular qualities and so on and so forth. And what I would have thought at this point in time is that the audience that follow them, the ones that applaud them, the ones that say they are doing very well, should have said, no, these skits are not right. I've had this discussion with the likes of Frank Donga and the likes of Ima, oh my God, who we also do skits together. But we do skits that are clean. We do skits that are of a different kind. We do skits that are educational, skits that are informative. But skits are divided into two. It's either you want to educate / inform, or you want to entertain. The ones that strictly want to entertain still use these objects, and they are the ones that we really need to talk to. But a lot of them are young.
So what
you know, they
saying,
are still in the learning process.
Because of the badging, because of the cost, I'm trying to join what you're saying together. What you're saying in earnest is that the people who have the large following actually also are supposed to be the ones addressing these issues, basically.
With their platform.
However, you have a lot of people, not necessarily in your industry, who already do a lot of objectifying in the name of entertainment, right?
No. Who support, who applaud these skits, you know, that express a lot of these things. You go to the page, you say, it's very, very funny. This thing really funny, oh. You know, see, not true you talk, or see where you hold the woman, see where you're already part of the problem. You know, you're already supporting him. If a lot more people went to those pages and said, no, directly went there and said, no, you shouldn't do that, this is not right, What are you teaching people? You know, what do you want our kids to see? What do you want the young ones to see? They would have to change their format. That is where the objectification of women come in. It's more online, it's more visual, you know, than being said. Not too many comedians who do, not too many stand-up comedians who actually do stand-up shows are able to say these things. Very, very few of them. You know, so it's more online, it's more seen online. And I think that is where the message needs to start from. I think it also falls on people like myself, you know, to call these people to order and say, look, this thing that you are doing.
To the next question. I raised this with OK Bakassi yesterday, more with OK Bakassi than with Helen Paul, to say, why isn't there a united platform for comedians? There's so many things that you can achieve when you have a registered, united platform coming together as a group. Even in terms of how much you are exploited, how much your intellectual property is exploited by mediums like YouTube and other social media platforms, and you're not able to get proceeds on your ventures. You're not able to get proceeds on the talent, your God-given talent. But if you come together as a group, as you come together as a union, these are things that you can constitutionally and legitimately pursue. You know, why isn't that available with the comedians? I know that music has that, Nollywood has that. You know, the actors.
We all have our various challenges. I just think that the comedy industry has the most number of challenges. And that is because the comedy industry is probably one of the only industries where you are self-made. And when I mean self-made, I mean you necessarily do not need the support of anybody to become a big star in the stand-up comedy sector. You know, for stand-up comedians, for example, what you basically need is your microphone and your individual talent. The moment you are able to tell a few fresh and new jokes, pow! You know, it's easy for you to shoot up the ladder. But you've just spoken about the comedy industry, and I'd like to say that the comedy industry is such a large industry, such a wide industry. It has too many branches. Do you know that a lot of the stand-up comedians, for example, do not really know or do not really have a relationship with the Instagram comedians?
Are those two different?
There are two different sectors, two different areas. The likes of Mr. Macaroni, Tahoma, a few of them cannot do stand-up comedy.
Okay.
They don't hold the mic and talk. Just like how you have some stand-up comedians also who cannot do skits. Now, we are both comedians because what we dish out at the end of the day is humor. Right. But it is not the same type of humor.
Okay.
You know, and there's almost no connection between the two of them. What is similar to the audience is humor. You all see us as humorists. But it is not the same type of humor. And so I cannot speak for their part of the industry because they will not accept that I know enough about their industry to be able to bring them to mine. But if you are talking about stand-up comedians coming together, you know, which is a platform that was first made popular, you know, over 30 years ago. This one's just started evolving less than 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We as stand-up comedians we have really tried. We have tried, but we've had a lot of challenges, a lot of differences. We've had a lot of, you know, different choices of opinions. It has just been difficult having to agree that we can be called an association. We have gathered a few times. We've gathered for similar causes. We have tried as much as possible to help each other when there is a need for. You know, for example, some people would always say that it is only when a colleague dies, that's when comedians come together. When somebody dies, that is when we all come together. And that day we will discuss and we'll say, we need to start an association. This must not continue. If we had an association, we'll be able to look for insurance policy for this one. This one would not happen. That one would not happen. As soon as the barrier is over, everybody just goes. And I think part of the problem is all of this problem of cliques. Once there are cliques and there are divisions, it's easy to actually bring people together. I'll take you for example now. Okay, if you say let comedians gather together, and once I get there, I don't see somebody from my clique. I don't see somebody from my people, somebody that I feel I'm used to around. I immediately begin to suspect the reason for the gathering. And then by the time I pick up the phone and I call one or two of them and I say, where are you? This one says, well, those people are beg, I don't get time. The other one says, I now start to feel, okay, if one or two of the people that I believe are my close friends in the industry are not interested, then what really am I doing here? I might even be seen as a seller. But I think the job is on some of us who mediators, to begin to go around and see how all of this can actually change. It doesn't have to be, you don't need 50 people for it to start together. It might start with just 5 people, reaching out to the rest and making them see common interests. So I think this is the time, because, we've been suffering a lot. A house united, is better than a house divided. And our divisions have really cost us so many things.
Absolutely.
So many things. We can approach anybody as a group. We can approach the bank and say comedians need loans to do shows, or comedians need this to do. We can approach the government and say comedians have a problem. We need the government to come in. We can't go as a group. It's been a lot of problem. I think it has, so it's been more harmful than good for us. So it's what we really need to start to work with. And I think I'll have to start that personally on my own.
Wow, well done. We just need a few revolutionaries there. A few, who can just buy into that vision and help. And it may just be that this is the right time to do that, because your mediums for expression are very, very limited right now. So it's important that creativity and being able to exploit and drive as much, maximize all of the rest of the platform that's available for you right now will probably go a long way than the one-man show that you claim that everybody is doing. Running a one-man show is never going to be as good as having a corporate perspective of things.
I think it's because we are used to running one-man shows, because a lot of our stand-up comedy shows are already one-man show. Only me can do it. This, AY Live, Basketman Humor Unlimited. I think if I can run the show and just bring in 4 or 5 of my friends to also perform alongside me, I am good. So I think that has been a major problem with us. It's time to begin to collaborate. It's time to begin to understand that everybody's problem is your problem.
Yes.
It's the only way. It's the only way you get solution.
A tree cannot stand alone and make a forest. It does not matter whatever sector of the industry it is. Not one person does not make that forest. It has to be.
I think if we had started this on time, if I started this a long time ago, we would have been able to check the influx of quacks into our industry, because we have a lot of quacks. We have a lot of wannabes. We have a lot of people who do not know that this trade is a serious trade. We have a lot of people who came in on the bandwagon of nothing to show or nothing to offer, you know, who just had to poach here, steal here, take here, and then come in and think that it's because, you know, we've made it a free-for-all industry because there is no association. So I think this is the right time. This is the right time to start it. And I think
somebody is saying that it's a societal issue. Heritage 20 Radio is saying that it's a societal issue. What I say to that, the societal issue is that it's important that we establish institutions. Where there is sanction, there is sanctity. If you do not have sanctions in place, people will do whatever. It's only human of us. There's a regulation, then you understand the ambience, you understand the boundaries, you understand the limitations, and you work within the context of the boundaries that have been put in place. And in every society, there's always that part. Being able to establish institutions that establish the boundaries with which we're able to work. We have to start, you know, it is the little drops that make the big ocean. We have to start from somewhere, you know, and ultimately we will get it together. So if we can get it together in the music industry and we have, you know, some form of direction with the movie industry, there's no reason why we can't have that comedy and any other industry.
I mean, it's funny because
please go on.
It's funny because so many times, you know, when we see ourselves, we've said this so many times, and it has been a source of mockery to us because we've often said it that look, vulcanizers on Friday, we tell you that they are no longer pumping tires at 2 o'clock because they are going for meeting, and they will all wear their green uniform and go to meetings. You know those are trades that that are not as celebrated.
You know why? Owen Gee. Because organizers, they swear on top of each other. They use that thing, that Ogun. They use Ogun to swear for each other. That's the language that we understand.
That is what we understand. That's what we understand. And the funny thing is that if organizers gather together, and all of this is for our own good. If organizers gather together and they say, look, pumping of one tire is 200 naira. There is nowhere that you will go to that you will pump your tire for less than 200 naira.
So whoever pumps tire for 300, now Ogun go kill the person.
Ogun go kill him. So we as comedians, we need to gather together. By the time we have these particular associations, we'll be able to also control price. By that time, we'll be able to sit down and say, charging for one wedding must not be less than 500,000 naira. For example, Owen Gee, if you have to appear on any Instagram show or any Instagram seminar or webinar, like Talks with Titilayo, you must charge her 300,000 naira. Anybody, if you charge less than 300,000 naira, Ogun will kill you. And then when you say that on ground, if you go and do it free, you will just see Ogun knocking at your door. Hot afternoon, calling your name. Come. Comedian sent me to you. Come and collect. That is just it. So there'll be a little bit of regulation. You know, by then you will not